Railway has put sensors at the various installations. Even in the rolling stocks that is being put, smart rolling stock is being manufactured. All signaling installations and everywhere, the railway has put sensors. We are getting data from all those installations, and with the help of AI, we are able to analyze, and we are going in the era of predictive maintenance. Means earlier it was preventive maintenance, that you maintain something that it doesn't fail.
Hello everyone and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I am your host Tanay All, and today we have the privilege of speaking with someone whose career has truly reshaped the landscape of infrastructure and governance in India. Joining us is Mr. Vinod Kumar Yadav, a distinguished leader with over 4 decades of experience driving transformation at the helm of Indian Railways and beyond. Mr. Yadav, your journey from leading one of the largest railway networks in the world to working on high-impact international projects with the UN and Asian Development Bank is extraordinary. You managed to blend technological innovation with governance and sustainability, making a lasting impact. It's an honor to have you with us today.
It's truly a pleasure to be here with you, Tanay, and I will be sharing my experiences with your audience.
And that will be a true pleasure for us, sir. And for all those tuning in, today's conversation will be one to remember. We'll explore how strategic leadership, governance, and cutting-edge technology can drive systemic change. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out in the industry, there's a wealth of knowledge in today's discussion.
I'm looking forward to it, and let's dive in.
Sir, we've heard a little about your impressive background in the introduction, but I'd love you to take us through your career journey in your own words. From your early days to where you are now, what have been some of the key moments or turning points that have shaped your path?
Thank you, Tanay. So basically, I worked as an Indian civil servant for approximately 38 years. And my career journey started in 1980 when I was selected by UPSC through Engineering Services exam for Group A service of Indian Railways. And actually, the Government of India has a provision that you can go on deputation to other ministries, other organizations, or international organizations. And I got an opportunity to work on deputation to other organizations at many occasions. First, I went to Ministry of Industry as director. I was looking after capital goods sector. Then I got an opportunity to work with an international organization called United Nations Industrial Development Organization. And there I was working in a leadership position as a project director of International Center for Manufacturing Technology. And basically, objective of that International Technology Center was to technology transfer to small and medium enterprises in developing world. Then I got another opportunity to work with 3 public sector units which were involved with mega infrastructure projects. And basically, in railways, I started with an engineer in the previous years.
Okay.
And later part of career, I worked in strategic leadership position. I started my job as assistant electrical engineer, then senior electrical engineer, deputy chief electrical engineer. And then I got a strategic leadership positions like additional divisional railway manager, divisional railway managers, and general manager. And finally, I was appointed as chairman railway board and PO. And basically, that was the time when I was in charge of an organization which has more than 1.2 million employees, and their revenue budget was more than 2 lakh crore. Their capital budget was more than 2 lakh crore. So when I joined as chairman railway board in the year 2019, immediately after joining, I got an opportunity to meet Honorable Prime Minister as a courtesy call. And I spent around 20 minutes with him. And those 20 minutes were really turning point for me, because during that conversation, I was asked a very straight question that what is the main challenge before Indian Rail and how it can be addressed. So basically, I've been working for Railway for many years, and I realized that the main challenge for Indian Railway is capacity constraint. Basically, Railway was not able to develop the infrastructure in a way it should have developed in past 60, 70 years, due to whatever reason it may be. And due to that reason, what happened that all Indian Railway routes were totally not only congested, but it was oversaturated. And some of the routes, they were saturated by 140%, which means that if the track had been designed for running 100 trains, we were already running 140 trains. So if you are doing that, it's so difficult to maintain the track, so difficult to run the train. And therefore, railway was not able to meet the demand. Demand was increasing and we were not increasing the capacity. Many projects were sanctioned, but they were not getting completed due to funds constraint. So if railway has to be improved and it has to be made world class, only solution is to basically upgrade the infrastructure and modernize it. So that was the only solution with railway. And that 20-minute conversation, I was told that I should go ahead with a plan for infrastructure development for next 10 years. And I was told that funds will not be constrained. That was really a turning point for me. And from there onward, I started working on plan for infrastructure development. And immediately within a period of 6 months, we came out with National Rail Plan 2030, NRP 2030. And that NRP 2030 basically formulated a plan to develop the infrastructure and modernize the infrastructure in such a way that by 2030, we should be able to develop a railway infrastructure in such a way that all the demands, traffic demands, whether it is passenger or freight, can be taken care. And also the future traffic demands, which will come beyond 2030, that can also be taken care of. So that NRP was formulated, and not only formulated, its implementation was started in right earnest. And I can tell you, the budget allotment was increased 3 to 4 times. That really made a lot of difference. And during that period, a decision was taken. 3, 4 very important decisions were taken. I will just try to mention. One was this NRP 2030, that all these tracks, wherever congestion is there, you have to do multi-tracking.
Yeah.
You have to go for new dedicated freight corridors like coal corridor, iron ore corridor, and things like that. So those corridors were planned. Then modernization of the signaling system, modernization of the rolling stock. Then a very important decision was taken to completely electrify the railway routes, 100% railway electrification. And that was started. And use of artificial intelligence was started for maintenance, for safety, security, for enhancing the passenger experience, for managing the freight. And then one most important decision was taken by Honorable Prime Minister at that point of time, that railway has around 53,000 hectares of land, which is available alongside both sides of the track. And a decision was taken to install the solar panels so that the entire electricity requirement of railway can be met from that solar panel. So a lot of important decisions were taken for Indian Railway. Now, if I look back through my entire career, I find that I worked in 4 distinct sectors. One is railway, which I explained to you. Another is manufacturing sector.
Okay.
And then infrastructure sector. and then social sector. So one by one, I'll explain my career profile for these sectors. Now, the manufacturing sector, I got an opportunity to work with Ministry of Industry during 94, 99. And that was a period, when the industrial liberalization in 91 was announced. And that was the time there was a lot of emphasis on foreign technology collaboration, foreign direct investment. So I was in charge of capital goods sector, including industrial machinery, electrical industry. So for those sectors, I was responsible for formulating industrial policy, and also I was responsible for promoting foreign technology collaboration and foreign direct investment. So that those 5 years, I really could do a lot of work to upgrade the manufacturing sector. And immediately after that, in continuation, for next 5 years, I got another opportunity to work with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization as project director for International Center for Manufacturing Technology. And those 5 years, I was fully involved with the technology transfer to small and medium enterprises, not only in India, but in the entire developing world. It took me to around 50 countries. And that was the time I realized that if manufacturing sector has to produce a quality product at competitive rate, then it's very essential that they will have to deploy the latest technology. Without technology, you can't maintain quality, you can't be competitive. And that was a period I really learned how to motivate small and medium enterprises to go for the latest technology. And with the help of this international organization, UNIDO, we facilitated a lot of work, not only for technology upgradation, even for marketing their products internationally. So that really made a lot of difference. The third sector I worked during my career is infrastructure sector. When I got an opportunity to work with three public sector companies, uh, which were involved with the mega infrastructure projects. That was Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited, which was basically doing 3,000 kilometer dedicated freight corridor between Delhi, Mumbai, and Delhi, Kolkata. Project cost was around 1 lakh crore.
Yeah.
Then I worked with Rail Vikas Nigam Limited, where some ADB-funded projects were being executed. Then I got an opportunity to work with IRCAN, that was outside country. I was posted in Turkey, and there I was doing their railway electrification project. So those 5 years, I did a lot of work for infrastructure sector. Then post-retirement, I was project director in a leadership position for a social sector
Okay.
project implemented by Asian Development Bank. And that was mainly to facilitate poor people, especially women and disabled people to find their job. So that was very important projects where I could get exposure to work in social sector project. After that, my current position is that I'm working with a top infrastructure company in the country and helping them in business development. So in this way, for last 38 years, I have been able to work for railway, infrastructure sector, manufacturing sector, and social sector.
That is indeed lovely, sir. I mean, people say there is one thing you can do, and that is hard enough, and you've covered so many different things. Must be quite some journey and learning experience. Sir, overseeing one of the largest and most crucial infrastructures in the world must have come with its own set of unique challenges. As the former chairman and CEO of Indian Railways, you were at the helm of an organization that impacts millions of lives daily. With such a vast and complex system, how did you navigate the intricacies of leading such a transformative organization, and what leadership qualities, especially during the most challenging times, did you rely on to drive innovation and change within the Indian Railways?
And as you know, Indian Railway is one of the biggest organizations, not only in the country, even in the world.
Yes.
And railway has more than 1.2 million employees.
Wow.
And as I mentioned, our revenue budget is more than 2 lakh crore and capital budget is more than 2 lakh crore. So total 4 lakh crore expenditure in a year. Railway is having more than 7,300 railway stations. Railway is running 20,000 trains per day, including freight trains and passenger trains. Then railway carries 2.4 crore, 24 million passengers daily. So it's a huge network. And as I mentioned earlier, the biggest challenge for railway that there is a huge capacity constraint. And the way demand has increased, railway has not been able to keep pace with it. I'm very happy that, in 2019, we formulated National Rail Plan 2030. The work is being done on that plan in RP 2030. The current railway minister, Sri Ashwini Vaishnaw, he has really pushed it hard, and the pace of infrastructure implementation has really gone too high. And we are quite hopeful in next 5 to 6 years, railway will be able to develop infrastructure in such a way that railway is able to meet the demand. Our ultimate goal is to run the trains without waiting list. That is the ultimate goal of railway. Railway is planning towards that. And then, as far as freight is concerned, railway is carrying around 1,600 million ton every year. But then I just want to mention that freight. If you see the freight tariff for railway and you compare freight tariff for road, there is a difference of at least double. The freight tariff by the road is almost double of the railway traffic. And that really creates problem for the logistic cost. And the logistic cost in India is 13 to 14% of GDP, whereas in developed countries it is only 7 to 8%. So if you will have to bring down the logistic cost, and without bringing down the logistic cost, our manufacturing industry cannot be competitive. So if you want to push Make in India initiative, if you want to see that our Indian manufacturing companies, their competitive, logistic cost has to be brought down. And if logistic cost is to be brought down, then the share of railway freight has to be increased. As on today, only 23% of the freight is carried by railway. That has to be brought to 40 to 45%. And in that direction, railway is working on it. Another important point is that, if you see from the environment angle, the CO2 emission from road is 9 times more than the railway. So from the environment point of view also, the railway has to carry more freight. And as I mentioned earlier also, railway has taken a decision to electrify its 100% route. And I'm very happy to inform that almost 98% of the route has already been electrified. And it is one of the first railway in the world where 100% railway electrification is taking place. And in addition to that, as I mentioned, railway is going for installation of solar panels. And entire electricity requirement of railway is to be met from solar power. And if that happens, our aim is that by 2030, railway becomes zero emission emitter. That Honorable Prime Minister announced 3-4 years back. The other important thing for railway is basically its human resource management. 1.2 million employees, motivating them and see that their performance is of the highest standard. It requires a lot of human resource management efforts. And during my tenure, I tried to did some organizational restructuring because railway was having a problem that there was silo working. 8 departments, sometimes departments were working for their interests of their own departments. So there we did some organizational restructuring. We created Indian Railway Management Services so that at the top level, the services are harmonized and everybody is working towards the interest of Indian Railway. Another important thing which we started and which has really picked up use of artificial intelligence. Now the artificial intelligence is being used for safety, security, passenger experience enhancement, even freight management. So, though a railway is a complex organization, but if we are able to manage our human resource in such a way, and if we are able to manage, motivate our people, and ensure the team working, railway can do wonders. One more important thing I just want to mention about a very good example of crisis management and how your leadership qualities are put to test during a period of crisis. As you know, in 2019, COVID-19 period, we had a crisis, and first time in the history of the world, I believe, that entire railway system was closed.
Yeah.
Airlines were closed. But the challenge was, and the real crisis was, that we required transportation of food grains
Correct.
that period also. We required transportation of coal because
Correct.
without coal, you can't run the power plants. We required transportation of medicine, medical equipment. Then, as you know that, at that point of time, we wanted to transport immigrant laborers to their villages. So all these challenges. So basically, whatever leadership quality you can have, that during this crisis period, you need to be calm and composed. You need to motivate your people. All these things were put on test, and really, at that point of time, Indian Railway really did a wonderful thing, and we were able to really transport food grain of double the quantity which we were transporting in the normal time.
Yeah.
Similarly, we transported more coal what we were transporting in normal time. So that is a best example of that in such a crisis, all your leadership qualities they were put to test.
And such a totally unplanned crisis, which you
Unplanned
can't
crisis.
ever imagine that the system would
Yeah,
have to shut down, right?
that's right. That's right.
That's very true, sir. And that's what leadership is about. Not you can't always be prepared for problems that are going to come in the future. It's about on the go handling it and making your team feel that it's okay.
Yeah, it was a difficult time, but it's a very different experience, and I'm happy that that was a period when I was chairman railway board, and I could handle that crisis. I still remember, that how to motivate people, how to communicate people during that time.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell you that, within a week, we could develop the communication facility in such a way that we were able to talk to all our top level managers, medium level managers, 24 hour through Zoom and all other things. Everybody was provided facility within a week, and we were able to talk to them from their houses. And basically, when we started running goods train and freight trains, we had to talk to our frontline staff and convince them that yes, there are safety protocols which are being followed. And if there is any issue, all medical facilities are being provided. So a lot of motivation work was to be done to motivate them to run the freight trains, and even these labor trains during that time.
Yeah.
So it was really a good experience.
So, overseeing the electrification and safety enhancements at Indian Railways must have been monumental. How do you think these modernization effects have shaped not only Indian Railways but also contributed to the broader development of India? With such large scale changes, I'm curious about the impact these have had on the lives of everyday citizens and the nation's future. Could you please share your thoughts on this?
And I will like to share with you a very important thing on this issue. Basically, 2019, May 2019, the new government took over. Modi 2 government, we say. And during May 19, a task force was created of senior government officers from various ministry, and I was part of that task force. And that task force was given a task to develop a plan for infrastructure development of whole country in such a way that citizen of the country gets the best facility, world-class infrastructure, and our Make in India initiative for manufacturing sectors is really takes a different shape and it goes to a different stage. Because infrastructure is the backbone of the manufacturing industry. Manufacturing industry can never be competitive unless there is a very strong backbone of infrastructure sector. So at that point of time, task force was given to develop 3 programs. Basically, there is a very dynamic website for all these 3 programs. One was National Infrastructure Pipeline. 2020 to 2025 National Infrastructure Pipeline was created, which listed all the projects being executed by various ministries of central government or state governments costing more than 100 crore. So they were listed on National Infrastructure Pipeline and their execution of projects were being coordinated. Another important program was developed, which is called National Industrial Corridor Development Program. National Industrial Corridor Development Program. And a very interesting story for that, when task force was developing this Industrial Corridor Development Program, basically we tried to put industrial corridors at such places where port connectivity, road connectivity, railway connectivity, availability of power, all these things are available. And when we are doing presentations about this program before Honorable Prime Minister, then he came out with the idea that he was not wanting to develop industrial corridor development program in this way, but his intention was to develop industrial corridor in a way where all the 112 aspirational districts, there are around 800 districts, out of that 112 districts were identified as less developed districts. That was the time when Honorable Prime Minister coined another word that we will not call it backward district, we will call it aspirational districts. So basically 112 aspirational districts were backward districts where there is no industrialization. And therefore, Honorable Prime Minister mentioned that we need to develop industrial corridor in such a way that all these 112 industrial corridors are covered. All these 112 aspirational districts are covered under industrial development program. And then we will have to develop industrial corridor in such a way that we get the benefit of geographic advantages.
Yeah.
That you have to find out where is the geographic advantage to develop a defense sector industry or leather industry or information technology industry or food processing industries, because so there are some geographical areas which are having advantage for the different sectors. So he said, okay, take care of the aspirational districts, take care of these geographical advantages the places are having. Don't think about the infrastructure. First, you see that, what type of industrial corridors should be developed. And having decided about the industrial corridors, then you map it with the infrastructure, with the rail connectivity, road connectivity, port connectivity, power connectivity, and things like that. So that was a paradigm shift guidance for which was given by Honorable Prime Minister. And based on his guidance, task force developed this national corridor program. Basically, there are 11 industrial corridors have been identified, which has 32 projects, and these are to be completed in four phases. Then another very important thing came out that task force developed, that was known as PM Gati Shakti. And PM Gati Shakti is nothing but a IT tool, basically IT platform, where all the relevant ministries in the government of India and the state governments, they are connected with that platform. And whatever projects which has been listed in National Infrastructure Pipeline and whatever projects have been listed in the National Corridor Industrial Development Program, and whatever projects have been listed in National Rail Plan 2030. All these projects are to be sanctioned, monitored, implemented through that platform. So I can just say that 2019 on Government of India has developed a infrastructure perspective plan in such a way that these plans were fully implemented. Whenever these plans are fully implemented, the citizen of the country is going to get a lot of benefit, and the Indian manufacturing industry is going to get a lot of boost.
And you're informing us about all this. So these are so many things that we don't even realize is going on behind closed doors, and so much discussion is happening to take care of the future and make it a developed nation. So
I know
lovely
you
to
are,
hear about that.
since I was part of the task force, and I
Yeah.
get the benefit of getting all these information. So
Yeah, and
that's
it's important the viewers also get to know, sir, and they understand that a decision isn't just made in a particular year. There are years of planning that probably go behind it, and then it comes up after probably 10 years.
yeah, absolutely, you are right.
So, with your extensive experience leading Indian Railways and the growing influence of digitization and AI, how do you foresee the future of governance in public sectors like transportation and infrastructure? As AI and digital tools reshape these industries, what impact do you think they'll have on the way we deliver public services? Do you believe we are heading towards a more efficient, if I can say, tech-driven approach to governance in these areas?
Of course, Tane, you can see the difference because it brings transparency, it brings efficiency, it brings accessibility. And in every area, whatever area you see, means everywhere this digital platform and AI use is really helping people. Since you talked about transport sector, first I will talk about railway and then the entire transport sector, how it is shaping the railway sector and transport sector. Now, as far as railway is concerned, artificial intelligence is being used since 2019. And basically, the main areas means there are so many areas where railway is using artificial intelligence and this digital platform. I will be discussing the main areas and especially those areas which basically is related to the passengers and citizens at large. Now, the most important use of AI is for safety and security. When I'm talking about safety, railway has started using remote diagnostic. Means railway has put sensors at the various installations. Even in the rolling stocks that is being put, a smart rolling stock is being manufactured. All signaling installations and everywhere, railway has put sensors. We are getting data from all those installations. And with the help of AI, we are able to analyze, and we are going in the era of predictive maintenance. Means earlier it was preventive maintenance, that you maintain something that it doesn't fail. Now railway is going for predictive maintenance, that with the help of AI, because AI is able to analyze all these data which is coming from the field, and they are able to predict that, okay, this is the item or equipment is likely to fail in future. So you can go for the predictive maintenance. So railway is going in that way. Then coming to security. Almost all the major stations have been covered with the CCTV cameras. And all the data which railway is getting from all those stations that are being analyzed by AI with the face recognition and all. And believe me, this has really helped solving many problems, many crime issues which is taking place at stations. This has given a lot of facility to identify some faces which are doing problems again and again. So from safety point of view, this AI is being used. Another area where AI is being used, that is for passenger enhancement, passenger experience enhancement. IRCTC app, if you go to IRCTC app, and very recently they have launched DISA 2. Now with this app, you will be able to track the trains on real-time basis. You can check the PNR status. You can check the probability of getting confirmation in the train. You can check which trains seats are available. So, means through AI, passengers are being given all these facilities. In fact, with through app, when you are traveling, you can also order for your own music, songs, everything. You can just listen on your app. So many facilities are being given. Another important area that this container management system is being managed through AI. Then all these track maintenance system is being managed through AI. So lot of things are being done through AI. Now coming to the transport sector as a whole, basically, if we have to bring down the logistic cost, the important thing is that all these sectors, whether it is shipping, railway, road, there had to be a integrated app where if somebody wants to take his freight from point A to point B, and it has to travel through road, then train, then ship, or maybe even civil aviation by air. So all these things need to be upgraded, integrated, and AI is trying to do that through AI. Already
Yeah,
work is going on to integrate all these things. So in coming days, there will be a lot of changes in the transport infrastructure sector with the help of AI. So I do believe that AI is really going to make a lot of changes in the life of a common citizen.
true, sir. And it'll always help if it is like you said, it becomes a cross-domain thing where you can track different modes of transport together so that it becomes easier for the citizen to use and
Yeah,
understand.
that's right.
Sir, as you look to the future, both personally and professionally, what are some of the aspirations you hold for yourself? Additionally, how do you envision your role in the boardroom, especially considering your vast experience in strategic leadership and governance?
And as I mentioned, I have already worked as CEO of one of the largest organization, Indian Railway. And then I got an opportunity to work as chairman of two very big infrastructure companies, that is Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited and National High Speed Rail Corporation, which is doing bullet train between Mumbai and Ahmedabad. So I was chairman of these two companies. So I have already handled the board meetings as chairman. With my experience, I can tell you that companies basically will have to go for two, three things. One is human resource is the most important. You really need to see at a strategic level how team working can be done in a better way, how people can be motivated, how there is a connectivity between people to people and things like that. Another important thing is financial management. That's very important. And the third most important thing is that use of latest technology, because technology upgradation is the only answer to produce quality product and compete globally. So with all these experience which I'm having, I'm really looking for something to get connected with some board of a company, maybe as independent director, which is in manufacturing sector and doing some technology products. There, I do believe that I'll be able to contribute something at board level with my vast experience. Then another area can be, infrastructure sector. I'm already working with the infrastructure company because that is my forte and that is my aptitude. In fact, I have been involved with the infrastructure development right from the beginning, and I always, take a lot of interest in infrastructure development. So that is the reason I have already started working with the infrastructure company. So basically, if you are asking me, then my aspiration is that if I should be able to join a good manufacturing company producing some high-tech products at board level.
And any company would be, it would be privileged, sir, with your experience to have you on
Thank
board.
you
I'm
so
sure
much.
of that. Sir, with your extensive experience in infrastructure development, like we were just talking, you've witnessed firsthand the importance of sustainability and responsible governance. So, as organizations today are placing increasing emphasis on ESG, how do you believe companies can truly integrate ESG into their day-to-day operations? Like, what key steps could they take?
No, it's very important to integrate ESG with day-to-day work. And I'll again give you the example of railway. Basically, if you have to integrate ESG with your day-to-day work, first thing is this, it should be part of your mission objective that you have to, embed in your mission objective. And second thing is this, that, leader has to have commitment. The commitment of leader has to be there for that ESG. The next item is that basically, and very important, that all the employees should be involved. Other stakeholders should also be involved, but all the employees should get involved with this ESG initiative. If need be, they should be trained. They should be told about that. And another important thing is that, this monitoring of ESG has to be done on real-time basis through use of technology. Because as now so many technologies are available, so you need to monitor it on real-time basis, and then only you'll be able to do it. Yeah. Next item is that, sometime you have to invest some money, which gives a long-term environmental benefit. So one should not hesitate.
Yeah.
One should go ahead and invest that money. Yeah. Another important thing is that, you need to redesign your product and redesign your process to see that, there is a benefit to the environment. I'll give you 2-3 examples of what we did in railway to do all these things. Now, talking about, process improvement. Suppose by improving some process, if you are able to get some great benefit related to environment, and even if you have to invest some money, you should invest. So I'll give you a best example from railway point of view. Now, railway is using electricity for 2 purposes. One is for offices and household, normal lighting, fans and air conditioning and all these things. But the major power is taken by the railway locos, electric locos, traction. 25,000 volt supply is going, and as I mentioned, 100% railway electrification has taken place. And the trains are being run through electrification. So majority of the power goes through railway. Majority of the electricity is consumed by those locomotives. Now, railway took a decision in 2018-19 that first, all the offices, all the station buildings, their installations will be converted into low power installation. Like all the lamps were changed by the LED lights, all the fans were changed. It costed some money. It required some investment, but we decided, because when we did, financial analysis, we found that whatever money we are going to invest in all these new installations, LED lights or fans, or even the air conditioner, which is using less power, we'll be able to recover that money very shortly. And similarly, railway provided solar panels on all its offices, on all its railway platforms in a big way. So 2018, 2019, 2023 year, almost all these installations were changed to basically consume less power, and all these buildings and stations, they were put all these solar panels. Now, the next important thing, a decision was taken in 2019 that if we have to feed this solar panel to electric traction, so there we need voltage as 25,000 volt, 25 kV. And nowhere in the world there is a facility to step up the solar panel power to that 25,000 level. And that was the time, 2019, Indian Railway took a decision, and with the help of BHEL, we implemented a pilot phase project successfully. that solar panel power can be boosted up, the voltage can be boosted up, and it can be fed to the traction pump. And then a decision was taken that 53,000 hectare land, which is lying vacant, there we can put our solar panel and we can just feed that power to traction. So, the point which I'm trying to say that, you have to redesign your product, redesign your process. Don't hesitate to put in some investment if you are getting environment benefit. Train your people, put it as your mission and objective, and leadership commitment is must.
Yeah, very well said, sir. I think long-term point of view is what everyone is looking at right now, and hence slowly people are investing time and money into the environmental factors. So, you recently joined Directors Institute, a platform that brings together leaders from various industries. Could you please share with us how your experience has been so far and how has that shaped your perspective on leadership and governance?
Yes, sure. So basically, I have been looking for Director Institute for at least 4 or 5 months. I went through many reviews. I did some research work, and I found that Director Institute is one of the best institute in this field. And I joined this institute, and I have already seen all the books which have been provided to me. I have already seen the modules, the lecture courses, video lecture courses, which is available in the site. And I can tell you, Tanay, this is one of the best course I have come across. Basically, all these video lectures which I've gone through, I find it, it has been professionally designed, and in a way that, it's very easy to understand that. And another focus area for Director Institute, which I really like, is the focus on networking with industry, and focus on enhancing leadership qualities. So all these things put together, basically a very good curriculum, very good course content, networking with the industry, very well established networking in the industry, focus on the leadership. I do believe that Director Institute is one of the best institute to join for this purpose.
Lovely, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with us on the show today. Your insights on leadership, governance, and the future of infrastructure have truly been inspiring, and I'm sure our audience have gained so much from this conversation. So, once again, thank you so much, sir, for taking some time out for us today.
Thank you, Tane. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I'm really very happy to share my thoughts with you and our audience. And I do hope that it will be of some value to our audience. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, we thank you once again. And also, a huge thank you for all of you who have tuned in today. We hope you found today's episode insightful. Don't forget to subscribe to FaceTime with Leaders for more incredible stories and thought provoking discussions from top leaders around the world. Until next time, stay curious, keep leading with purpose, and of course, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much. Goodbye.